All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. Before I get cranked up on this video, this album came out last year. Let's see if I can get it somewhat closer. Okay, Mayank, that's the name of this band. It's a project band via Frontiers Music, and people will complain a lot about these bands that Frontiers has, right? But this is where you'll hear great melodic music, lots of songwriting, lots of creativity here. Guy Oliver, who is a great singer. In fact, somebody called Guy Oliver the Brazilian version of Steve Perry, and he's not far off from that designation. I believe he's working on another project as we speak here. So they should be finishing up on that maybe toward the end of this year. But in the meantime, if you didn't get this, melodic rock with some progressive rock tendencies and a few twists and turns. It's not overly predictable. This is something you have to listen to a few times. Again, it's the debut album from the band Mayank. Came out last year and I missed it when it came out originally, and I kind of had to do a little Jen Psaki, and I had to circle back and listen to it. Boy, isn't it great that she's not around anymore? All right, well, the person who replaced her, anyway, I'd be going down a rabbit trail there, and I think you know where I'm going with that. Anyway, Journey drops another song today on July 4th. It was a present for those of us who were barbecuing and thinking that we're going to have just a great old time listening to Don't Stop Believin' on repeat play. And lo and behold, we got a song called United We Stand. Now, I think this is like the fourth or fifth single, which is kind of an unprecedented thing to do. But the album itself, the Freedom album, comes out Friday, July the 8th, and you can pre-order your copy from Frontiers Music or from BMG Music, I believe. Either way, go to Amazon. I think they will have copies there to ship out immediately. But again, it is being released on the 8th. I'm not sure if you do the record store thing. You see, I just don't know. Where do you go, right? Do you go to Target? I know Target had the Steve Perry album a few years back, and they made a big deal. Hey, we've got the new Steve Perry. And then I show up that morning to purchase it, and it was not on the shelf. I asked about it, and someone had to go get it out of the back room. So this is what you deal with today if you're going to buy a physical copy of something. In any event, the new song, United We Stand, comes out, and it is really good. Now, there are a lot of people out there that continue to say, oh, Dave, this just isn't Journey the way I remember Journey, right? And keep in mind, a lot of people let go of Journey when Steve Perry was, removed from Journey, we'll say it that way, or Steve Perry parted ways with Journey. They went their separate ways, sorry. And Steve Augeri joins the band. They come out with a great album, which nobody really paid much attention to. The album is called Arrival. And then they released another album called Generations, which again, maybe Ross Valory shouldn't have been singing. That would be my short review of that. But I think that's a pretty good record, even though the critics always put it as Journey's worst album. Then you had Revelation with Arnel Pineda, his first album with the group, and he is fantastic on that record. You had Eclipse, which was a very muscular album. And then we wait 10 years and we've got Freedom coming out on Friday. And thus far, Freedom has borrowed from a lot of different eras, ERAS, not errors, but different time periods. In fact, I hear some Trial by Fire. I hear some Frontiers. Their last single, You Got the Best of Me, everybody was like, oh, well, that's just, plagiarizing their own material. And I'm like, okay, and then Don't Give Up on Us, which I think was even more plagiarism. People said it was like Separate Ways Redux, and I was like, okay, but isn't this Journey? Don't you want Journey to sound like Journey? I mean, the melody wasn't exactly there, but the structure of the song had a lot of similarities. And to this point, I do think that Don't Give Up on Us is the strongest song still to date. But United We Stand is kind of this sort of brooding, slightly dark, a little bit mysterious, reminds me again of the Frontiers period, but also, again, borrows from Trial by Fire and possibly Arrival. I mean, there are elements in all of these songs that sound like Journey. Now, some people will say, well, Let It Rain, for instance, that didn't sound like Journey. No, it actually sounded like really old Journey, like from the Greg Raleigh period. And I had someone who sent me a message like, who's Greg Raleigh? I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I mean, yeah, I'm getting old. There's no question about it. Just because I know who Greg Raleigh is, what does that make me old? I know who George Tickner is too. Does anyone know who George Tickner is? And I could name drop all these people who passed through Journey at one point. But that's not really important. People are wondering, is this the Journey that we all know and love? And I would have to say yes. Now, again, for those of you expecting like Don't Stop Believin' or Stone in Love, and I don't know, that was a very creative period of time. I'm sure these guys are thinking that, hey, we really need to work hard at songwriting because people have heard our best and maybe we can't top ourselves. But I think if you want to hear some new, fresh music from Journey, this album is going to provide you with a lot of material to listen to. If you're not interested in this because you got your old catalog and you're hanging on to your memories and you believe that Steve Perry is it, which again, it's hard to argue with that point of view, although I've come to the conclusion that Journey is good with Steve Perry and they're good without Steve Perry. Are they better with Steve Perry? Most likely they're better with Steve Perry. Pretty much everybody who's been in Journey will tell you that, yeah, Steve Perry was one of those just unique talents that nobody is going to be able to replace. As I've said before, the singers who've come since, they try to help you cope with the fact that Steve Perry isn't there. Now, the other argument to that, obviously, is that Steve Perry wouldn't be able to perform at the level he once did. Now, people don't like to admit that fact, and some people say, well, I'll take a watered down, Steve Perry over Arnel Pineda or Steve Augeri or even Dean Castronovo, who quite honestly could sing lead vocals for this band, but he wants to be behind the drum kit where he feels comfortable. But vocally, Dean Castronovo can hit any note, really, that is required in this catalog. And Arnel, I think, has really gotten his game back where it was when he first joined this group. So good on him. Again, as far as the song goes, and that's really the point of this video, I think this is a good AOR, would have been on mainstream rock stations kind of song. There is no place for this song anymore because there is no format that will accommodate this song. Maybe my friends over at Modern Retro Radio, which is an internet station, maybe they will add this song to their playlist if they haven't already added a couple of other Journey songs that have been released. But good, solid vocals, good melody, good songwriting. This has all of those characteristics. The background vocals in this track are very deep and rich, and they have a certain quality to them. That might have been as a result of Narada Michael Walden and his ability as a producer to add something distinctive to the mix, and I think he's done a great job here. I'm not sure if Randy Jackson is playing bass on all of these songs. I'm thinking he might have played bass on all of these tunes, but I think we'll live and learn when we finally get the album released, and we can look at those credits on the record itself. So in any event, on a scale of 1 to 10, on United We Stand, maybe 7.5-ish, maybe 8. A good song, a very good song, and a song I think that the more you listen to it, the more it will grow on you. I like the cold ending with the vocal. You'll know what I'm talking about when you hear it. That's something that bands don't do anymore. That's kind of like the end of Separate Ways, where it ends on that vocal high. This doesn't necessarily do that, but it is a vocal outro and a cold ending, which I think is really cool. So check it out. United We Stand, the Freedom album, will be dropping on the 8th, which will be on Friday. So you'll be able to listen to the entire album. It's a big deal. This is the first Journey album in 11 years. And a lot of people are thinking, is it worth the wait? Depends how much you love Journey. Neal Schon sounding great on this. A lot of people just live to hear Neal Schon noodle on guitar because he is so unique. Sammy Hagar once said he never plays the same thing twice. When he's trying to invent stuff, he just doesn't do that. Even when he plays the classic songs, he typically adds something slightly different to each take of the classics. Now, some people want to hear it verbatim. I understand that too. The Eagles do that. A lot of bands who have made a living off of trying to sound like they did on the radio do quite well with the concert audiences. I think Neal Schon is more of an improv guy, and I love that. As a fan of great guitar work, I love it when he goes off on a tangent, and he can tangent as much as he wants. Of course, he purchased 150 guitars during the Thingdemic, and apparently even the wife said, hey, we need to find some storage for all these guitars. I mean, that's got to be a little bit rough. You want that one guitar and it's in storage somewhere. But Neal Schon, he's a guy who can just pick up any guitar and make it sing like nobody's business. So again, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this new stuff. I know people will say, no, it can't be the way it was. And yes, you're correct. You either celebrate what this is or you stick to what you used to listen to. And that's fine. You can embrace all the old catalog you want. I'm one of those former DJ guys that gets very sick of hearing the same stuff over and over again. No matter how good a song is, I want to hear some unique stuff. I want to hear some new, fresh music. And I think Freedom is going to deliver. So far, it's done pretty well. You know, people, again, will dump on, say, Let It Rain, but okay, you know, you don't like that particular song, listen to the other ones that have been released. And this new one, I think, just adds to the anticipation of what I believe will be a great album that's coming out on Friday. All right, people. Again, thanks for watching. We got some new subscribers over the holiday weekend. Thank you so much. It's Independence Day. Celebrate your independence. Reflect on what it means rather than just doing a great job grilling something today, which I'm sure most people are capable of doing that and have done it year after year. But in times like these, I think people need to reflect on why we declared independence and what that means. That's all I'm saying. You know, you don't have to crack open a book or anything like that. Just think about it today and enjoy your day. And especially if you've got family to hang out with, do that, because these times are precious regardless of what's going on in the world. All right, done. Thanks for watching. See you soon.